Oh my god, is it on? Oh my god, it's totally on. What's going on, YouTube? Oh my god, it's been so long since I've done one of these. Let me tell y'all this real quick, because I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I have to give a special shout out to Stephanie. Stephanie knows who she is. I ain't gonna put her last name out there, but Stephanie knows who she is. Let me tell you what Stephanie did. I put out a post on my community page, and I was asking for those who saw it, like software recommendations and like headset recommendations on, stuff that I can use so I can make these videos again. Because the software that I was using, even though I was kind of, rigging it a little bit to make it work, was not working for me anymore. I don't know why it just stopped. And then, like, y'all remember that last video I took with the microphone was just like horrible. I hated it. And so I was just like looking for some suggestions, and Stephanie hit me up via Instagram and donated to my PayPal. I ain't gonna say how much she donated, but just know that it was a blessing enough for me to grab the license for this software, so I ain't gotta, bootleg it no more. And I went out and I was able to get the these are like the Cloud Stinger. I hope y'all can see this because I can't see myself on the camera. Headset. Like these are wireless too, so I feel very bougie right now. So I just need to give a shout out to Stephanie for making this whole thing happen. Thank you so much. So, are y'all ready? I hope that wasn't loud. That looked like that was very loud. I don't care. We got a better sound. We got better mic. We got stuff going on. Let's hop in. I got a message from my friend who got murdered. Now, child, if I get somebody a message to somebody that I know got killed, and you talking about some WYD, I'm gonna be like, GTFO. We don't play those games. Oh, and also to commemorate me getting my new stuff for these videos, I'm gonna finish off the rest of this little crown bottle. It ain't gonna be much, but we in a great mood today. So I don't talk y'all ear off. Let's get into the gig, girl. I hope y'all can hear this. I really hope the sound works.
It happened a few years ago. I was hanging out at the local mall with a couple of my friends, just chatting, as usual. All my friends had social media accounts like Facebook or Instagram, and they would focus on it sometimes when we were goofing around together.
As we all do.
Drake, one of my friends, was saying that he met a girl from Facebook. He also told us that he really liked her and that he was going out with the girl that night. We joked with him that he was going to be going out with some 40-year-old man, like those kind of jokes, you know. A couple of hours later, we had to go back home, so we all left the mall. When I got back home, I went inside my room to watch some TV. It was almost midnight when I got a text from my friend saying, "Hey, just finished the date." So I texted back, "Was he pretty?" He replied, "Very funny. Jokes aside, my car broke down and I need you to pick me up." Then he sent me an address. Well, I'm not the kind of person who ignores when my friend needs a hand. So I asked my parents if I could take the car and they said yes. I grabbed my phone and texted again, "On my way." Soon I got to the address he sent me and parked in the driveway. While I was going up the stairs, I kind of had a creepy feeling, as if I was being watched.
Okay, so why? Hold on. If he said that he was at this address and you're picking him up because his car broke down, why didn't you? Where's his car? First, I didn't see that on the street, and then where is he? Like, I'll be expecting to see somebody, my friend, out on the curb at his car that's broken down. Why am I walking into an abandoned? No. Why am I walking into an abandoned building? I'm gonna be calling you like, where you at? Come downstairs. I'm not going up there. Why the hell are you going in there?
Anyway, I rang the doorbell and heard someone say, "Come in." At
What?
first, I didn't recognize the voice. It was neither my friend's voice nor a female voice, so I just figured that it might be the girl's dad.
What?
Well, I was a bit surprised that the door was already open. But anyway, I walked in, and when I closed the door behind me, I saw this man watching TV with the girl and my friend. I said, "Hey, Drake." However, for some reason, he didn't respond. I had a strange feeling.
No, absolutely not. That man is dead.
So I slowly walked up to Drake, and I would never forget what I saw at
He's
that
dead.
moment. The girl and my friend Drake were stabbed, and they were already dead.
See, I'm telling you, this is why you tell your friend to meet you outside. Because if I would have texted and he would have been like, "Come on up," like, no, why would I come? No, no. D- Let this be a lesson to y'all. And then again, this is somebody that they met online. Well, actually, you know what? It's not even an online thing because she did too. This is they just got some into some crazy shit.
They were put in a position in a way that it looked like they were sitting. So I thought they were just watching TV like that. I looked over at the man watching TV, and I saw that he was holding a bloody knife in one hand and my friend's phone in his other hand. He was
Ooh.
smiling. The man turned his head toward me, stood up, and said, "Hello, young man.
Uh,
It's your turn." I tried to run out of the
no, thank you. I will have to respectfully decline, bitch. You crazy?
door, but because he was laughing so loudly, I was terrified and I couldn't move. But there was
I can't relate to that. I would have already been in my car. Once I saw my friend was gone, I mean, there's no reason left for me to be here. I need to call the police. Because I'm not about to stick around and figure out what the rest of the storyline is. I'm already going.
no choice. When he approached me, I abruptly kicked him, knocked him down, and managed to run outside.
Okay.
Fortunately, he didn't chase after me, but I didn't care. I just got in my car and drove off straight to my home. As soon as I got home, I
Oh my.
woke my parents and told them about what had happened. And of course, they contacted the police. The police arrived pretty fast and raided the house, but didn't find my friend, the girl, or even the man. And to this day, they still haven't found any clues.
They didn't
Now
check for
I'm
the
grown
blood?
up and I'm living on my own with my wife and newborn daughter. I always think about what would have happened to me if I was unable to run away that day. And my friend Drake, his face keeps coming up in my mind all the time since then.
Mm. Child, that's some bull. That is some bullshit. And you lost your Lord have mercy. I'm so sorry, baby. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and prepare for the next story. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, we're back. True horror story about the mirror in my school's bathroom. Child, did y'all used to play what was that shit? It was it not Candyman, but Bloody Mary saying her name 3 times in the bathroom and y'all got scared? Mm, amen. All right, let's go.
This happened when I was in middle school. My school was kind of old building and some places were almost worn out. The school had 3 main bathrooms. 2 were pretty maintained, but the last one was different. It was separated from most of the other buildings. The floor was always dirty, and there were 6 stalls, but only 3 had doors, and even those doors were all broken up. I hated ever
Why does her describing his bathroom make me think of the bathrooms at the gay club, child? If anybody in here from Houston and y'all used to go to Club 2020, y'all know them bathrooms, they hardly have no doors, child. The doors that were hardly hanging on to the hinges.
going there. Well, not just me. All the girls hated that gross place. Anyway, one day, while I was in the classroom chatting with my friends, I had to use the bathroom so bad. Unfortunately, that gross bathroom was the closest, and furthermore, I didn't want to try my luck to endure it.
Baby, she had the runs. Well, you know what? I was about to tell a story, but then again, never mind. That ain't none of y'all business.
So I went inside, and I could say that it was the grossest smell I've ever smelled. I entered the last stall, which was much cleaner than the others in a hurry, and had to keep my pants not touching the floor.
Damn, it was that bad? You could even touch the floor, child? I mean, never mind.
Afterward, I went to the sink to wash my hands. The inside of the bathroom was silent, and all I could hear was the sound of water running from the faucet. Then I heard a tapping sound. I turned off the tap and glanced up at the mirror, but I couldn't see anything because the surface of the mirror was so dirty. So I looked down, washed my hands, and started to dry them until I heard a tapping noise again. I grabbed some paper towel and slowly wiped off the
Oh
mirror.
God.
And at that moment, I finally saw it. It was visible. There was a hand
What?
that was out of one of the restroom stall, tapping on the surface of the door. Those fingers were pale white and skinny as a bone.
What the
However, when I quickly turned around, the fingers were vanished. I couldn't believe what I'd seen, so I just thought myself that let's just wash it and leave it. As I turned around and stood in front of the mirror, then I saw my reflection very clearly. That was the worst part in my story.
What?
I was smiling at me.
Oh!
I mean, the reflection of me was literally smiling with
Oh!
mouth wide open. I couldn't move. I just glanced at the mirror and froze in fear, and then I heard the tapping noise again. To my surprise, when I looked closely at the mirror, I noticed that my reflection was tapping on the mirror.
Bitch. No. What you... I don't understand. This is the second story where this person talking about they froze in fear. Bitch, if I see some freaky shit like this, my body is already involuntarily, I'm gone. Like, hell, blow the entire school up. Start from scratch, because y'all got spirits and haunted demons. Ain't nobody got time.
To get my attention, and on the other hand, it was beckoning to me. I screamed in fear, threw my paper towel, and ran away from the bathroom. As I came back to the classroom, I told my friends what I'd seen, but they never believed me. After that day, I never went into that bathroom again. To this day, I don't want to know what I saw in there, and I'm still a bit paranoid about mirrors. Well, I'll never forget what I saw for the rest of my life.
Woo! Shit! Damn it! God damn it! Oh, oh! I knew it. I knew it was coming.
To fly a rocket ship, you need to be an optimist.
No, you don't. No, I don't care about none of your rocket ship. Oh God, I saw it coming.
No astronaut launches for...
Shut up. Shut up.
I do admit the story.
Okay, I knew it was coming, but I just didn't. I thought it was going to be like an off-screen thing. It was not an off-screen thing. Oh, ooh, Lord Jesus. Okay, so this is going to be what, 2 bizarre true horror stories animated? All right, child.
Has a very fine line between bizarre and abusive, but overall, it's the creepiest thing that's ever happened to me. In all honesty, I've had a lot of creepy encounters, known a lot of normal people that ended up doing very bad things. Sometimes I almost feel like I'm cursed to make friends with rough edges.
Why does she sound like a man?
This whole situation started when I was a sophomore in high school. I showed up to school one day and noticed a new boy in my class. I was your atypical goth girl, and this guy was a teenage bad boy dream. Piercings, leather jacket, reading some sort of obscure novel. I was hooked at first sight. I introduced myself, and soon enough we were dating. He will henceforth be referred to as X for the rest of the story.
Y'all move fast, don't you? Shit. Hell, I wish it was that easy for me. Shit. See somebody, oh, they're cute, introduce yourself, now y'all dating. Damn. Hell, I can't even get nobody to text me back.
Now, for a little background. I was brought up in an alcoholic parent's home. There were many times I was living by myself or with a friend because one of my parents was in the hospital. Despite the chaos in my family life, I still managed to go to school every day and pull in decent enough grades. After one time too many, however, I was left for 2+ months living alone. Instead of coming home to an empty house, I asked X if I could live with him since he was closer to school. He and his parents happily welcomed me into their home.
Why his parents look like Skeletor? What's with his jawline? Why they look like they don't eat? His hair is cute though.
At this point in the relationship, maybe 5 months in, we were phasing out of the puppy love stage, and I was starting to notice some very serious red flags. X was very mental and started cutting regularly.
Excuse me?
His parents were very heavy drug users.
Oh no. Oh no. Mm-mm. 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 First of all, I should have peeped that from the goddamn sunken in faces. That should have been first and foremost. Secondly, they looking around, eyes are red, and girl, if you already have alcoholic parents, you should be able to tell the signs from drug addict parents from somebody else. But maybe not. Let's see, child.
There would be times I would try talking to X and he would literally stare off into space and not notice my existence. He was never mean or abusive towards me, but I could definitely tell something was unhooking in him. When we started living together, it started...
Oh, and I just forgot about... He said that he cuts regularly? I'm going to leave that one to myself.
to become very evident something was very, very wrong.
What?
He started to tell me he thought he was possessed by demons and couldn't control himself. We both spiraled into moderate drug use. I started skipping school, and he started seeing more of these demons. In all truth, I hadn't realized what a hole I had dug myself into by living with him. One night, we ended up falling asleep after smoking a bowl and watching a movie. It was a big house, and we were living in the garden-level basement, 2 or so floors below his parents and siblings. Around midnight, I was woken up by the most frightening screech I'd ever heard. X was right next to me in bed, contorting, convulsing, and
Oh! Okay, hold on. There's an ad about to play. Let me pause and let me get it finished. Okay, we back. Child, look at this foolishness. This man, oh girl, you better go back home. You have a whole house to yourself. It's better than living with these druggies, child.
At first, I thought it was just a seizure. I've seen friends have seizures before, and I didn't interfere, only looking for one of our cell phones to call 911. As I got up out of the bed, he looked me dead in the eyes. The blood drained from my veins. I've never seen such hate. Everything seemed to happen in flashes from there.
What?
He never broke eye contact as he slowly rose from the bed. It almost looked as if he was a marionette on a set of strings, pulled up with sunken shoulders. A half smile formed on his face as his body twitched.
What?
He started walking towards me. I can't describe how terrified I was, cornered in the room.
Let me guess. You're frozen with fear. Girl, leave this man. Ain't no deep worth dealing with demons.
Opposite to the door, I felt my ears swell and ring. He started screeching at me, coming within a centimeter of my face, never breaking his gaze.
Wait, hold on. Why is this a little hot, though? Nah, no. He crazy. He crazy. He crazy.
I started pushing him, yelling at him to cut it out, but it was like trying to push away a stone statue. He would not move. He finally started talking, ranting about the demon and not making a single word of sense. As bizarre as it was, I knew he was having some sort of mental episode. I truly did fear for my life and knew I needed to escape. Suddenly, I felt as if I was sucked back into the moment and my senses were incredibly acute. I noticed the window we had cracked open earlier. I pushed the window back, punched through the screen, and climbed out as he stood silently staring after me. I'm pretty sure I stayed outside for an hour, hyperventilating before I decided to ring the doorbell. One of his parents answered, very confused, and set me up with a blanket on the couch on the first floor with no questions asked. In the morning...
You went back in? So your boyfriend just charged at you. I guess he didn't hurt you, but he was sitting there yelling and contorting about the demons, and you went back. Huh. You're stupid.
X came up and acted as if nothing had happened, no matter how much I pestered him about it. It was as if it had all been a bad dream. I made arrangements to stay with another friend that day, and broke up with X about a week after,
Good for
once
you.
I was actually able to face him again. Sometimes I wonder if it had been some sort of sick joke to get me out of his house or out of the relationship, but I watched unshocked in the years after, as he fell into severe drug abuse and mental illness. At one point, I went to a school counselor and told them how worried I was for him, but it only made him hold a grudge against me. After everything that happened, I really started to feel sorry for him, and sort of weirdly forgave him for what he did. He tried contacting me a few times after everything that happened, but as the years went by, I heard less and less. Last I heard, he was addicted to meth and living on the streets.
Okay, hold on. There's another ad coming. Oh, Lord Jesus. Child, sometimes you just gotta let go of a bad situation, child.
I'm 23 years old, and as a child, my family and I would spend all 3 months of summer at my grandpa's huge farmhouse in Tirana, Albania, which is around 7 miles from the nearest town. Apart from an old computer, my grandparents have a complete lack of recent technology, so I often found myself exploring woods, taking long relaxing walks, which I liked because it gave me time to think, and a lot of the time I went hunting with my dad and grandpa in search of coyotes and foxes which would kill our livestock. Just to be more clear, I'd been taught to shoot for years at this point, and I found myself to be quite a good shot. One particular day, it was around 1 PM. Bored out of my mind, I decided to take my grandpa's 2 German shepherds for a walk. Eventually we got to one of my favourite places, a crystal clear river, around 7 foot wide. Walking, I noticed a tall man on the other side of the river, with his back turned to me. He was wearing a pair of black jeans and a hoodie, which I found odd considering it's around 80 degrees this time of year. Even more concerning is that there's usually nobody around for at least a few miles. Despite this, I spoke to him and asked if he was lost or if he needed any directions. He ignored me completely, not even acknowledging I was there. I continued to walk and had eventually made some distance from this person. Then I heard him crossing the river and come across to the side I was standing on. I turned around to see him just standing there, with his eyes wide open, almost as if he was surprised to see me.
The fuck?
Trying not to think much of this, I continued walking, only to notice that he was following me at a slightly faster pace. I turned around and said, "Do you want something, sir?" I said this in confidence, simply because I had my grandpa's 2 dogs with me. He began to walk much faster towards me. Now I was genuinely scared. I knew nothing of this man, who he was, what he wanted, if he was armed. So I ran. To avoid leading him directly to my grandpa's farmhouse, I cut through a small woodland, at which point I thought I'd lost him and continued to make my way back home. I spoke nothing of this to my parents.
Mistake number 1, because I would have definitely said something.
That same night, I went ahead to my room and decided to call it a night. At around 2 PM, I was woken with the sound of leaves being stepped on right outside the sliding door to my room. Slightly alarmed, I decided to not get worried, hoping it was just one of the dogs. So
No, 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 no. Because if you have a dog, you know what dog steps sound like and the pace that they sound. If you, unless, no, 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 no. You know the pace of a dog step. You know you're going to hear like a tap, 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 tap because they have 4 legs. If you hear somebody going like tap, 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 those are human feet. Those are human feet.
I lay back down, facing away from the door. A few seconds later, I saw this shadow creep up at my door. I was frozen in pure shock.
Here we go again with that frozen shit.
Slowly turning around, I saw the figure of a man. I rushed to switch on the lamp by the side of my bed and quickly picked up my grandpa's old Carcano rifle.
Oh.
Trying to sound intimidating, I told the guy to get away in a rather squeamish voice. He stood there for a few seconds, and then quickly pushed my sliding door to the side.
Why is your sliding door open? Girl!
Knowing full well I didn't have it in me to shoot him.
Bitch, listen. Let me tell you something. At least, this is my understanding of the law. If someone enters your house, you know, as an unwanted guest, you have all rights under the law to light their ass up. Shit, who's talking about it? It ain't in me. It's in me. I will try not to, but once you going up in my house, there's nothing left for me to do. It's above me now.
I screamed for my dad as loud as I could. He continued to stare at me until my dad barged the door open and he ran into the woodland. In anger, my dad took the rifle out of my hands and started shooting into the night in hopes of one of the rounds catching him. The next morning, the police were called, but could do nothing about it apart from file a report. I didn't know if it was the man from the river or not, so again I ended up saying nothing. I thought if I did, I could get an innocent man arrested. Around 2 weeks later, I still hadn't gotten over what had happened. On that day's paper, we saw an article titled 18-year-old boy murdered in his sleep. I translated this as best as I could from Albanian. At the bottom of the article, there was a picture of the man I saw at the river, with the same surprised expression, as if he had no idea what was going on. My parents didn't let me fully read the article, knowing it would just make me feel worse. To this day, I feel two things. Regret that I didn't pull the trigger, and guilt, knowing that if I had, that boy would still be alive today.
Oh, see, I thought that he was the 18-year-old boy and that he was like a spirit walking around or some shit.
Figure still haunts me.
Why is it in front of his... That's so stupid. Okay, so we're back. This is going to be the last story of this video. Thank y'all again so much for tuning in. I am so excited that I get to be able to do these again. Uninterrupted. I got my license. I got my headset. I'm so excited. Okay. So this is like a, what's it, creepy granny pizza delivery? Child, y'all know I don't deal with creepy grandmas, child.
I'm a 28-year-old male, but when this happened, I was about 23. I worked at a mom-and-pop's pizza shop in a place in Northern California. It's a small farm town and has a few suburbs near it. I kind of did everything since I knew the family. They trusted me with running things while they were gone. This night, though, I was working deliveries and got the weirdest one of my life. Everything seemed fine when I took the order. The lady ordered anchovies on her pizza, and I always think people who order that are weird as shit. She made a point to tell me the pizza had to be hot when it got there, or she wouldn't pay for it. So I get the pizza and throw it in the warmer, and drive to her house before any of my other deliveries. I'd like to tell you guys that our house was creepy and run down, but it looked like your average one-story new housing development home. I rang the doorbell and put on my fake-ass customer service smile. You all know what I'm talking about. And as soon as she opens the door, I knew this was going to be bad.
Ooh.
The haggard old lady who looked like she was a smoker of 50-plus years looked me dead in the eyes and said, "It had better be hot, or I'm not paying like I told you over the damn phone." Now, I understand, ma'am. I made sure to stop by your place first, even though it was last on my list. Bring it in and set it on the table. She said this.
No. I'm almost positive, I've never worked for a pizza place, but I'm almost positive if you're a delivery person, you're advised, if not required, never to step into a client's or customer's home. I'm be like, oh, you know what, man, that's perfectly fine. I'll just hand it to you here, or I could leave it here on the front porch. Either way, I have to get to other deliveries. I cannot walk into your house. That's just stupid and dangerous. So I'm just going to leave it here on your porch, man. Thank you very much.
And now...
And then, wait a minute. What do you mean if it's not hot, you're not paying? Usually, if you're being it delivered, they've already took the money. The only money that you're collecting is the tip. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong.
I don't normally go inside customers' homes because I read too many stories on no sleep and let's not meet. But at this point, I'm just wanting to kill her with kindness and see where this will go.
Yeah, she's gonna kill you with your stupidity.
So I say, no problem. I also brought cheese and ranch for you if you need it. As soon as I opened the bag, she grabbed the box, and her hand was on the bottom of it, just rubbing it. "It's not hot enough. You fuckers do this every time, and I'm not paying for this shit. Not a single dime." One thing I have an issue with is my mouth. I don't know when to just shut up and try to understand where people are coming from. "Look, lady, your house is a 5-minute drive from our shop, and I stopped by your place first. There's no way your pizza is cold. If you refuse to pay, you're going to be 86th, and I'll notate it on your account." She immediately walked into her kitchen and came back out. She had an old pizza from a few weeks prior she had ordered from us, and threw it at me. "Take your fucking pizza and get out of my house. You're the devil." She yelled that at me and kept calling me Satan and the devil. Again, my mouth has no filter and I can't control it. I try, but I fail every time. As I'm closing the bag and laughing about how much I hate my job, I tell her, "Alright, ma'am, you will not be able to order pizza from us again. I hope you have a good day, and God bless you and your house." She kept following me outside to my car, screaming about how I was the fucking devil. And there are families out there just watching this all go down. I get in my car and start driving. Once I'm back, I tell my manager what happened, and she told me that the lady had already called in and screamed to her about what had gone down. Her story was that I cussed her out and got her order wrong. My manager shut her down and said I'd never do anything like that. But here's the weird part. She whispered into the phone to my manager and repeated, "Send him back. Send him back. Send him back."
Bitch.
She called once a day for almost 3 months, just whispering this to whoever answered. She started driving by the restaurant and yelling, "The devil works here. You're all going to hell." Now, I wasn't scared. I was just pissed and wanted to retaliate, because I can't tell you how many times she tried to follow me back to my apartment when I got off work. One night I pulled over and got out just for her to stop her car on the road with her lights on, yelling, "The devil is here." After this, I jumped back in my car.
Alright, bitch. So, are we gonna fight? Or... Because you're not about to be following me home, coming to my workplace, doing the most. Are we just gonna fight? So, let's go.
And sped off. Luckily, after 6 months of dealing with this lady, I found
6 months? Child.
out she was schizophrenic and bipolar, and hadn't been on her meds.
Clearly.
Her daughter put her in a care home, but when she was cleaning out her house, she saw that her mom had pictures of me all over her bedroom wall with the word, yep, you guessed it, devil, scrawled all over it. She found me and explained everything to me, and thankfully, that was the end.
Hold on, another ad coming. All right, well, that was the last video that we're going to do for this particular recording. We're about just a little over a half hour. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'm so glad to finally be able to be back to be able to do these things. Shout out again to Miss Stephanie. I hope she sees this video. I hope she watches. Maybe she'll comment if she wants to be identified. Shout out to you, Boo. Love you much, and I cannot wait to continue doing these. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.